Okay. Good morning, parents and students. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Christiana, and I have with me here Hopell. We'll have Kaplan International Pathways. Hopell will be making presentation, talking to us about Kaplan, the colleges, and all that you need to know. So please relax and listen as she makes her presentation. If you have any questions, please do well to put them in the chat box, and I'm sure that she'll be able to attend to the questions after her presentation. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hopell, over to you.
Thank you very much, Christiana. Good morning, everyone else. Good morning. I'm happy to be here. My name is Hopell Offoaro. I'm the regional manager for Kaplan West Africa. This morning we'll be looking into what we do as a body, Kaplan International Pathways. We'll also be talking about the various colleges we offer and the services we render also via our partner, Nubi. So who is Kaplan International Pathways? As seen on my screen, Kaplan is actually the leading provider of global education, especially pathways education. We believe that education should be personal. That would mean we cater to each and every person that comes our way, especially those who are intending to get into university but are not able to at the time they have applied to their grades. So if a student has the WAEC, IGCSE, or their first degree, a third class, HND, or they shouldn't be left in the lurch. So that is what Kaplan is all about. Also, we have schools that cater to students with high-end results. So we're talking about all of that as we progress. Although we're focusing on the UK today, Kaplan also have partnerships with top universities in the US and also in Australia. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So my sister. Yeah. All right. So moving on. This is a history. We didn't start today. Kaplan was founded by
Sorry, everyone. I think we lost Mrs. Hopell there. Maybe she's having difficulties with her connectivity. I'm sure she'll be back shortly.
Okay. Oh, do you mind taking over? Okay, I think she's here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I lost connection for a bit, so I'll just share my screen again. Kindly let me know when you see it. Can you see my screen?
No, it's not back on yet. So
are you able to see?
Yeah, it's back on now.
Okay, thank you for your patience. Sorry about your stable network. So Kaplan has about 40 university partners, and why study abroad? We all know that today there are different reasons why people would want to study abroad. They want to improve the quality of education they have. So as such, they will look out for a body or a partner that would feel that need for them, proudly beside Nubi. So we help students to apply for any of the courses with confidence, and you will soon see why. This is because it's a challenge for many students and parents to get different options as a one-stop shop. So already engaging Nubi as your agent or your recruitment counselor is a good way to go, because under that umbrella, you have Kaplan with everything, our one-stop shop programs and everything we offer, and many others. So we've been talking about these pathways. Let me clarify, what does pathways mean? So in simple terms, a student finishes their ordinary level or their first degree. However, due to their grades, they are unable to get into university immediately, or before getting onto the program. So the path
You are muted, Ma. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, okay. So please indicate if you can see my screen. Sorry that this keeps happening. I don't understand the network.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Network seems to be very wonky today. Thank you for your understanding. So the students can actually access top universities abroad by going through a pathway program that they ordinarily will not get into immediately, maybe due to their results or not having traveled abroad before for study. That's where Kaplan comes in. So a major question that many people ask, especially when they haven't been receiving career counseling, is what can I study? What will be relevant in the next 5 years? Based on what I have done, what will I fit into that will be relevant in coming years, especially after I graduate? Happily, we have a lot of various programs or various courses that the students can apply for. We have computing courses, we have architecture, art and design, medicine, music performing arts, science and health, life sciences, engineering programs, and business programs. We'll see a lot more programs as we progress and under the different categories of universities that we partner with. So I'm talking about living and studying in the UK, especially where a student hasn't studied before. Yes, they may have been traveling to the UK on holiday, but that is a totally different experience from studying in the UK. So why choose the UK as a place of study? We already know that the UK education is highly rated. There's cultural diversity, and the UK has a fascinating history. When you get to the UK, you see a lot of students from different countries, not just your home country, not just your home region. You see a lot of students, so that also helps students to broaden their horizon. And there are vibrant cities, different ones that you can choose, but they might want to consider other university partners that is not in Scotland will also provide that. And if they're looking for cheaper cities to study in terms of living expenses,
I think she's back.
yes, I'm back. Sorry, so sorry.
Yeah.
So if a student is looking to study in like maybe one of the cheaper cities to live in the UK, we have Birmingham, which has been rated one of the cheapest cities to live in the UK. And this is an independent result, not a Kaplan research or survey. Staff will have friendly staff and who have been trained to welcome visitors, colleges and partner universities, all this to work in the UK after the graduation. So let's talk about the different pathway options that we have. We have the foundation, we have the undergraduate pathway, and under the undergraduate, we have two. That's the foundation certificate program and the international year one program. On the screen, you can see how it is clearly explained. For foundation, we accept the high school certificate and a UK via IELTS. My colleague will be talking briefly about the IELTS later on. So the student applies with this and does the foundation year one and year two, and then final year in the UK, after which they graduate. For the international year one, students get into year one under the college, so they skip the foundation year. And students who were able to consider for this route are students who have very high school grades, very good school grades. So like the A's, the A's and the B's can be considered. However, even though they can be considered, we need to factor in whether the student has studied in a British, whether the school they had done their secondary school, whether the secondary school actually runs a British curriculum, so that the student doesn't struggle. We can consider a student who has very good grades, foundation, if the course is available via the international year one. Or a student who is going through the international year one route will be doing 3 years of UK study, including the international year one, whereas the foundation will see the students studying for 4 years, including the university before they graduate. So that's all about the undergraduate pathway options for our UK study. For our US, for the postgraduate pathway options, we have the pre-masters and the pre-doctorate program. For the pre-masters, the students will need to have finished their first degree. So for students who have done a HND, students who have also passed through university but came out with the third class, even some 2-2 students, depending on the school they're applying to. If they're applying to a high-end school, they will accept 2-2 second class upper rather for the pre-masters program. However, for our mid-rank universities, we accept HNDs, we can get to sign off some pass grades, even if we don't encourage that. But then we do not want to leave anyone in the lurch. As much as possible, we would like to give everyone a chance who are able to afford studying abroad. For study costs in the UK, this varies. We have schools as low as £13,500 and as high as up to £30,000, depending on the cost limits, the subject, and the study location. Apart from this cost, we also need to consider the maintenance costs, because students will need to have accommodation, they need to also cater to their living expenses in the UK and pay for their learning materials. So for all of this, the student will need to set aside up to £12,500 in their account or their parents' account. Our partner, Nubi, prides themselves in guiding students very well to apply for their visa. So please do not do this on your own. Always go back to your counselor at Nubi to assist you with the visa application, and then they can list out what applies to you as living expenses, and they'll find the tuition fee, school tuition fee that fits your budget. Interestingly, we have partners all over the UK, and I'd like to mention some of them. So we're talking about the higher-end schools. I was referring to University of Birmingham, Glasgow, Liverpool, Nottingham, City University, York, and Cranfield. These are some of our top universities in the UK, and students can get to study a pathway with us via the college before accessing the university program itself. Apart from that, we also have mid-rank schools, very good mid-rank schools that are in no way less popular or less effective in terms of kind of teaching and program being dispensed. So we have universities like Bournemouth, UWI Bristol. We also have Nottingham Trent University and University of Westminster. We have schools that are high, a bit higher than the mid-ranked universities that hold a teaching excellence award gold standard, and that's the University of Essex. So students have a wide array of choices under Kaplan. Remember, if you want to do it on your own, it might seem very cumbersome. If you go through your counselor at Nubi, they're already well versed in these areas, and looking at your situation, they can guide you directly to the options that fit your budget and your situation. So for the high-end schools, they're known as the Russell Group universities. For those kind of schools that are made, Birmingham, Bristol, Liverpool, Glasgow, Nottingham, Queen Mary, and York, the tuition fee ranges between £18,000 and £25,000 thereabout. And as I said earlier, it depends on the course length. Sometimes we have a operated program, and it also depends on the subjects. We have engineering, we have business, so they vary slightly. And then the study location, any of these cities. We have courses, various courses that you can study at these top universities. We have medicine at foundation leading to medicine at Birmingham. We have nursing, we have engineering courses, physiotherapy, computing courses, and a lot of business courses as well. Apart from our high-end schools, we have the mid-ranked university partners in the UK, and the fees are a bit slightly cheaper. Well, significantly cheaper, I must say. We have schools as low as £13,500, and it ranges from that to £18,000. And it also depends on the aforementioned factors, same as the Russell Group universities. And very interestingly, we have almost all of the kind of courses you can study at our top rated universities, at the mid-ranked ones as well. And like I said earlier, categorizing a university as mid-ranked doesn't make it less effective in terms of teaching, doesn't make it less popular. We have a lot of students that actually know about these schools and actually seek them out themselves. Also, we encourage students, and I'm sure your counselor at Nubi will agree with me, to factor in the subject ranking when searching for a school. So you might want to choose a top university. You might want to choose a top university, but how well is that university rated in your chosen course or your career? How well is it rated? So these are the things to look out for. Subject ranking is better. It's better to use subject ranking. Then at the mid-rank universities, we have via the college, you can study pathway programs leading to very renowned courses like medicine, like law, like biomedical sciences, like nursing, like computer science, architecture, and various business courses. Through the foundation degree and the international year one, through the foundation certificate route and the international year one route as well, and also the pre-master. So we have all of this, and if you notice, we've been carrying along all of the different programs. We cater to the foundation, the international year one, the pre-masters in most of these courses. So check with your counselor to confirm that the course you've chosen actually runs via any of these programs. For scholarships, because you have come through our partner, we are able to consider you for some scholarships. We have the early bird scholarships, which is in no way automatic. However, your counselor would always check with us to see which one is available and applies to you and could apply to you at the time you are applying. We also have the impact scholarships, which students actively apply for themselves. This is usually a periodic form of scholarship and has an end date. So your counselor will also check if it's available at the time you're applying so that you can apply for this as an add-on when applying for your study with us. Then upon progression or just before progression, students can access progression scholarships at some of our partner universities. For the progression scholarships, I would say it's more on the university's discretion. So we don't actually dispense the progression scholarships, but we have information that some of our partner universities do give progression scholarships and students can take advantage of this. The beauty of the progression scholarship is that students have been pre-informed or have pre-knowledge about it and can actually work towards meeting up with the progression scholarships. Yes, so please, as I had stressed earlier, check with your counselor to see which one applies to you. For the Kaplan experience, what does it feel like to come to Kaplan? So if you go to Nubi, they have different options under them. Why choose a Kaplan school under Nubi? Kaplan prides itself in pastoral care, especially where students are underage, like under 18 years old students. So we accept from 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds. We usually hold an interview with the parents in attendance to ascertain how independent the student is and if they're able to cope in the UK, since they will not be living with their family. If there are any areas of concern, we'll point it out from the word go so that this will be worked on before the students embarks on their trip for study in the UK. And on getting to the UK, the students will realize that our courses are designed with international students in mind. And there are experienced teachers, lecturers, professors that will help them with their subject since they're experts in these areas. We also have small classroom sizes. So it's almost like a one-on-one tutorial between the student and the lecturer, because if there are a few persons in class, the lecturer can actually identify the students by name. They can say, oh, Ugochukwu, where is your assignment? Why did you do this? Or let me see what you're doing. And if they know that there are areas the students will need help on, they're able to help the students. This is what parents pay heavily for here. Students apply, students go to school and come back, and they still have tutorial teachers that come home to teach them, and the parents pay heavily for that here. So in Kaplan, we have small classroom sizes already. Students can have direct access to the lecturers, the professors. You do not sit like in a very big classroom in university. This is in no way demarketing the direct university route, but I'm just stressing the key selling points, the key benefit of studying via a pathway program. So if you're at the college, you have more access, you have direct access to the lecturer. The lecturer is able to help the students on a one-on-one basis. And students also have personal tutors that they can go to if they feel homesick or they need to talk to someone, or if they have like areas that are bothering them in their assignments, if they can't work it out as a team, they book a session with the personal tutors. We advise students to actually ensure that they keep the appointments when they have booked one with a personal tutor. And if for any tenable reason they are unable to meet with the personal tutor at that time, it is only polite to inform them officially so that the time can be freed up for other things. We have excellent learning resources. I was in Liverpool again in December, and I visited the Sidney Jones Library, well stocked and packed for every student in Liverpool, including the university and the college students. So this is just one of our schools. I was also at York, a very nice ambience. The facilities are great, and even the lecturers pride themselves in being a part of that school. So your students can benefit from these facilities, even though they're studying at the college. They don't have to wait until they get into the university before they access this, and they can be a part of the student union government as well. So the long and short of everything was saying is that Kaplan provides support at every step. Our support actually starts from the grassroots level, where you have actually engaged the services of our dear partner, Nubi, and we trust that they'll guide you appropriately towards our end. And when you come, you will get further support with Kaplan. You get support with your application, accommodation booking, pre-arrival, airport pickups. We also have the pre-departure briefings that we arrange for our students. And when the student gets to the UK, we have experienced support staff that are ready to assist them on ground. So basically, the student gets support, a handheld kind of supporting system until they progress into the university. Let's talk accommodation. Sorry. Let's talk accommodation. Where would they live? Of course, they won't live on the streets. They have to book accommodation. We have lovely accommodation packages for our students. We would always advise that students apply early for accommodation. Please apply early. We cannot stress this enough. In recent times, because of the influx of people from various reasons into the UK, accommodation has become a challenge, even for our category of students. So applying early, you never go wrong with that. However, sometimes this might be beyond the student's control. Maybe they're waiting for their result and it didn't, because before you can apply for accommodation, you need to have paid your fees. And for you to have paid your fees, you need to have at least a conditional offer. So what happens is that if the student is waiting on documents to send, and that is slowing down things, they may not be able to book for accommodation since they haven't paid. But at the time they pay, unfortunately, it may be that the accommodation is full. What happens at this time? We would usually have a waiting list for students that students can access. They'll be on the waiting list, and if any student from any region happens to drop for different reasons, we can pick on first come, first serve basis and provide accommodation for students on the waiting list. We also have there are also freelance accommodation providers that we might encourage students to access if we have exhausted all of the options within our radar. So, but I'll tell you what, I saw the accommodation at Liverpool and I got jealous of the students because it's a very lovely accommodation, very nice space, cotton sheets, just a lot of things that will make you feel very comfortable as a student. And the proximity between the accommodation and the learning center is very, very slim. They practically walk from upstairs to downstairs to have the lectures. So if a student wants to be in their pajamas, they can choose to do that, although we don't encourage it. So I'm just kind of stressing how close it is. You can see on my screen pictures of accommodation, a sample of the accommodation that we have in some of our colleges. We have different types. They are shared, but the most popular one is the ensuite one with a shared kitchen. With a shared kitchen. So that's the type that students usually book for. However, in all of the accommodation, there are security cameras and on-site staff to help There are also under 18 options. Sometimes we have the students who are not up to 18 years of age, and they can live with a home stay. They can pick the homestay option, but generally the accommodation for every student is available. So please check as soon as you pay for your tuition deposit, which accommodation you can book for, and do so immediately. You will find helpful staff that are very willing to assist you with your needs. And the students have access cards type of keys, the keys that will help them access the rooms, and they'll be guided all through on how to use this. And there are security cameras and which help to keep the building secure. So students can rest assured that if they pick our accommodation option, they'll feel at home while studying, also preparing for the study. In the accommodation area, we also have like social areas where students can, actually associate with others. They can associate with others. They can meet for snacks while discussing their team projects. They can even play games. We have sports area where they play games like table tennis and other forms of enjoyable games that will help them to become the total students and not just limit them to the books and what they have studied in class. So this is generally it for my presentation. I do hope that you choose Kaplan International Pathways as your preferred option. Before I round it up, I would leave the stage for my colleague Ugochukwu to talk briefly about UKVI IELTS. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hello everyone. Good morning. So I want to briefly talk about the IELTS UKVI. I know most students, they would say I'm from an English speaking country. I was taught in English, and yeah, I don't see any reason why I should be providing a copy of the English proficiency test. However, this is what obtains with us at Kaplan. We do require the IELTS UKVI for all our colleges. And we, in all bands, we require a 4.0, that's for foundation, but for the pre-master it's a 4.5 and 5.5 in all bands. You can push your students to, aim higher, just so they do not fall below the expected bands. There are other accepted equivalents. There is the CELT and also the Pearson Academic for UKVI. I would suggest the Pearson Academic for UKVI if your student is running on a tight schedule and they want to meet up for a deadline. So the Pearson Academic for UKVI, it takes about 3 days before the results are out. But however, is an online test. So you might want to suggest this to any of your students who is running for, trying to beat a deadline. Maybe they're waiting for a certain certificate, maybe their work is not out, or maybe they are waiting for, whatever it might be. If you're trying to gain some time, the Pearson Academic for UKVI might be the best option for that particular student. We don't hope for those scenarios to come up, but however, I just wanted to touch on that, if just in case you might be thinking the IELTS UKVI might take longer. There is another option, which is the Pearson Academic for UKVI. For Teddy London, the Design and Engineering Institute, those are the school for the engineering students. The IELTS requirement for the school is slightly higher. It's about 6.0 and 6.5 in all bands. Because it's an on-hands engineering school. So they require the IELTS level to be higher than that's the requirement. Basically, is higher than other requirements for our colleges. To gain entry into the Teddy London, that's in the Engineering and Design Institute, we require something higher than a WAEC, maybe an ND, A level, so students can get a direct entry into the Teddy London school. So, but if you want to advise them on the IELTS, yeah, they should earn a bit higher than what they would have earned for if they were going to other colleges. So 6.0 for Teddy London, then 5.5 in all our other colleges. You can also reach me if there is any other information that you might require. That will be fine. So yeah, I hope that particular point is noted. Thank you.
Thank you, Gochuku, and thank you, Opal. Thank you so much for the presentation. Please, if you have any question, I've dropped it in the chat box. Please, if you have any question, please, you can raise your hand or you can drop it in the chat box. Mr. Abraham, I don't know if you have any question. Or the other woman has left. If you have any question, please, I'm sure that Sopel and Gochuku will be fine to answer your questions now.